When it comes to co-op gameplay, the best experiences are typically equal between players, where you're both fully involved in the story and gameplay. Unfortunately, this isn't always an option in all games. Some games offer an assist mode. These types of modes are typically looked down upon. They're seen as inferior and made to be played with a younger sibling or less experienced players. But I'm here to say that not all assist modes are bad. If done well, a co-op assist mode can be very satisfying, and that second player should be able to complement the first player and actually help them move forward in the game and achieve their goals. So today I'm talking about the top 10 co-op games with assist modes. 8 Eyes is often compared to Castlevania, but it distinguishes itself with unique gameplay elements. In this post-apocalyptic game, you play as Orin, a falconer, tasked with recovering the powerful 8 Eyes jewel to prevent a nuclear war. The game's graphics and character sprites are detailed, and its music fits the mood of each stage. You can adjust Orin's jump height, and the game allows for 2-player simultaneous play, where the second player controls the bird. They're able to assist in combat as well as flipping switches. This is one of the earliest examples of an assist mode that I've ever seen in a co-op game, and I think this game is often overlooked. It might not be the best co-op experience, but to me, it stands out as a unique experience. It's different from anything else on the NES. Despite similarities to Castlevania, 8 Eyes offers its own engaging gameplay experience. Astal is a 2D platformer, released for the Sega Saturn in 1995, developed and published by Sega in an attempt to introduce a new mascot character. The game follows the adventures of Astal, a hero with red hair, on a quest to rescue his companion, Lita, from the clutches of the demon god Gerardo. Astal boasts impressive hand-drawn graphics and a beautiful soundtrack. This is honestly one of the best looking 2D games I have ever seen. Its release coincided with the unexpected launch of the Sega Saturn, and a lack of marketing may have contributed to its relative obscurity. Nonetheless, it remains an enjoyable platformer. It showcases the Sega Saturn's 2D capabilities. Similar to 8 Eyes, in Astal, player 2 plays as a bird and is able to assist player 1 in combat and by retrieving items. The Rapid Angel is a unique action game for the PlayStation, released in 1998 in Japan. While Sony of America had an anti-2D policy during that era, the game's quirky development, budget animations, and unconventional design made it an obscure gem. The game's storyline follows 3 young women running an express delivery company on an adventure involving mad scientists, corrupt politicians, kung fu maidens, and wizards. Players can choose from different characters, each with distinct abilities, and make choices that affect the game's progression. Despite its rough edges, including unbalanced difficulty, Rapid Angel offers a hypnotic charm and unusual ideas that set it apart, making it worth a play for those seeking something offbeat and unconventional. This is like a mix between a beat-em-up and an action platformer. In this one, the second player can control a tiny immortal cherub, which can fly around the screen freely, shooting at enemies. And that seems to be the theme here, is that player 2 is often immortal. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is arguably the pinnacle of the 2D Sonic games. This was definitely my favorite when I was a kid. I loved Sonic 2 as well, and Tails was present in that one, but this one made his involvement a little bit more detailed. Now Tails could fly, as well as pick Sonic up to fly for a limited amount of time. You still had the problem of Tails getting left in the dust as Sonic speeds through the levels, but at least you felt like he was a little bit more involved. I love the soundtrack here, the graphics are top notch. After completing the story of Sonic 3, you're able to continue the story of Sonic and Knuckles with Tails by your side as well. So definitely do that to get the full experience. Super Mario Odyssey is probably the best 3D Mario game ever. At least it is in my book. And Cappy is a great addition. Of course, I'd love to see a fully 3D Mario game that was an equal co-op experience where you could maybe play as Mario and Luigi in split screen or something. Playing as Cappy is actually a pretty fun experience. And I like that he's somewhat attached to Mario, so unlike Sonic, he's not going to get left in the dust. If you have a good player too, they're able to help you in combat, jumping and platforming, and it's especially helpful during boss fights, so Mario can just focus on dodging where player 2 deals the damage. I will always defend the co-op mode in Mario Odyssey. I actually think it's one of the best examples of an assist mode. Figment 2, Creed Valley, offers a fun musical adventure, suitable for players of all ages. While it maintains the visual flair and catchy songs of its predecessor, it feels somewhat smaller in scope and diversity. That being said, it did offer a new co-op assist mode, where player 2 plays as, yeah, you guessed it, a bird that flies around. Why is that always the go-to? Again, this bird is invincible and can help you attack enemies. The puzzles provide a refreshing change of pace and offer clever mechanics. The standout features are the boss fights, combining combat with bombastic musical numbers. The game's world design is praiseworthy, featuring creative, thematic areas. Overall, Figment 2 is a solid game, perfect for family-friendly co-op play. Jetforce Gemini, developed by Rare for the Nintendo 64, offers an ambitious 3D third-person action shooter experience. Players control 3 characters on an intergalactic policing mission across vast, colorful worlds filled with enemies. The game boasts impressive variety and a range of weapons. Once you get a little further into the game, you unlock the robot character Floyd, and now player 2 can control an extra cursor to double up the firepower. It would have been nice if Floyd could have upgraded his weapons or just had a variety of weapons. It still can be incredibly helpful in taking out enemies throughout the story. Jetforce Gemini remains a unique and enjoyable N64 title with charming graphics, creative level design, and a satisfying mix of action exploration. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Nintendo Switch is a delightful puzzle game that showcases the brilliance of Nintendo's game design. Originally inspired by challenges from Super Mario 3D World, this port brings the charming Captain Toad to a wider audience. The game's unique level design, based on the concept of miniature gardening, remains as captivating as ever. While the changes from the Wii U original are minimal, the addition of a 2-player mode on the Switch offers some co-op fun. When the co-op mode first came out, it was just an assist mode. Player 2 controls a cursor, can throw items to help player 1. Eventually they added a fully equal co-op experience where you're both controlling toads and you're able to navigate and solve the puzzles together. But that being said, this assist mode was actually pretty solid, and it was just cool to see the 2 different players have different skills and responsibilities, so you had to work together. However, if I'm playing this game, I'm most likely going to play the 2 toads, as that's more equal. I do think that the assist mode is a solid experience as well. A Robot Named Fight is a Metroidvania roguelite that pays homage to classic games like Super Metroid, Contra, Mega Man, and Castlevania. Developed by Matt Bittner, the game combines exploration and item collection with procedurally generated levels and permadeath, creating a unique and challenging experience. The game's grotesque and Cronenberg meat monsters add to its charm, and players must navigate through rooms filled with horrifying creatures. While the controls can feel a bit floaty at times, the game's ability to do seated runs allows players to revisit specific setup. The assist mode here involves up to 3 players being able to control little robots that follow around player 1, and they're able to shoot to assist in combat. Again, it would have been great to see 4 actual playable characters, but it is unique for having a 4-player assist mode. So for that reason, I wanted to include it in this list. The long-awaited Pikmin 4 for Nintendo Switch is finally here, and it lives up to the hype. With streamlined yet expanded mechanics, gorgeous visuals, and richly detailed locales, Pikmin 4 takes the franchise's quirky strategy formula to new heights. It retains the approachable, strategy-focused gameplay of previous Pikmin titles, where players control a tiny astronaut commanding plant-like creatures called Pikmin. The game is really solid, but the disappointing part was when we learned that the multiplayer would be limited to an assist mode. Pikmin 3 has one of my favorite co-op experiences on the Nintendo Switch. Being able to play through the entire story in split-screen co-op was a great time. And in Pikmin 4, player 2 is limited to just assisting by throwing pebbles and other items. Of course, this is a step down from Pikmin 3, but if you remove your expectations and just look at this as a standalone experience, this is actually a pretty solid assist mode, and having that extra firepower makes navigating the Pikmin world a lot easier. And that's the bottom line. The addition of an assist player should make player 1's experience easier and more enjoyable. They should add to the experience, not take away. And it should be fun for both players. When I think of an assist mode that is not very good, the example that always comes to my mind is Bowser's Fury. Playing as Baby Bowser seems like it could be fun, but ultimately he's not able to keep up with Mario, and he can't attack whatsoever or help out in any way during boss fights. So basically you end up feeling completely useless as player 2. Sure, he can gather items every once in a while, but while playing in this mode, I never felt like an assist player was actually adding anything. And whoever was in control of Baby Bowser was never having a good time. Co-op assist modes are tricky. A lot of them aren't very fun. And a lot of the times, yeah, they're aimed towards children. You can hand them a controller, they can join in on your single player experience without getting in the way too much. But a good co-op assist mode should also add to the experience and make you feel like you're benefiting. So what are some other co-op games with good assist modes? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, watch our video about co-op ninja games. Thank you for watching.